Hi, Charlie. I'm Addie, and I'm 14. I'm a freshman in high school, and I was wondering, as someone who has like a different opinion on college, what would you say the pros and cons are? Because I'm interested in political journalism, and what would your advice be?
Yes. So let me also speak to some of the young ladies here in high school, where your who's here where your top priority is get married and have kids. Raise your hand. Okay. Interestingly, I think there is an argument to bring back the MRS degree. And no, seriously.
Now, for those of you who don't know what an MRS degree is, and for those of you who made it this far in the video after you heard Charlie say, let me talk to the young ladies in the audience, and didn't just throw up in their mouths, here is an MRS degree as defined by Wikipedia, which actually had the best one. An MRS degree, or MRS degree, is a slang term in North American English for when a young woman attends college or university with the intention of finding a potential spouse, as opposed to pursuing academic achievement for a future career. And there are memes. There's a starter pack subreddit had this starter pack, just so you get an idea of the general imagery around this. You meet your husband freshman year, then every social media pic is like you and your kids, blah, blah. This life looks awesome. I don't want to say that this life is horrible, but Charlie Kirk wants to say that if you didn't raise your hand when he asked whose main priority is to have a baby and a husband, he wants you to think that anyone who didn't raise their hand is horrible. Anyways, he continues to answer the question. Take a look.
That's a really good reason to go to college, actually, especially an SEC school. Like, you will find a husband if you have the intent to find a husband at Ole Miss. Like, it's just gonna happen, okay? And by the way, we should bring back the celebration of the MRS degree, which is, no, serious. I mean, if you think about it, like, I say college is a scam, but if you're gonna find your life partner, like, that's actually a really good reason to go to college. You have a bunch of people that are single, they're at the prime of their, let's just say attractiveness. The dating pool is as robust as you ever find, and they all live together over a 4-year period. Like, you don't get much better than that, okay? It doesn't get better after college there. And so, yeah, you could go learn some stuff. That's fine, I guess, or whatever. Just don't listen to your professors. But that actually was the reason why a lot of women went to college in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and it worked. Marriage rates have plummeted since then.
What if I told you you can go to college if you want to and do whatever you want with the opportunities college affords? This is what I don't like about, for all the talk that Charlie Kirk and company do about how horrible it is to indoctrinate children, they sure do a lot of indoctrinating children. In fact, Charlie Kirk's entire existence, the reason you know his name is because his job, he has been paid. Brinks trucks full of cash have backed up and Scrooge McDuck style filled vaults for him to swim in over his largely failure of a career for decades. Before you knew what his name was, me in the business, I had to see promoted videos from Charlie Kirk that only got views because it was paid for by the Kochs to get women not to follow a career, so that those guys could blah, 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 get tax breaks. Yeah. I am for freedom. Charlie Kirk is not for freedom. He thinks that if my argument is, if you want to go to college and find a husband, go to college and find a husband. If you don't want to go to college, not find a husband, don't go to college, don't find a husband. I don't care. If you want to go to college and you want to pursue some kind of academic betterment for yourself, if you want to start a business, if you want to be like a boss girl, a lady boss or whatever, I'm the one telling you you can do that. He's the one telling you you can't, right? Yeah. And this proves he's a propagandist, and I'll be honest. He's a propagandist, so he's only telling you things so he will change your mind. I am telling you things so you can make up your mind. That's the difference. Find people who can help you get enough information so you can make up your mind. And I'll prove it. I'll prove that I'm honest and he's false. He's telling you you're gonna be miserable one way and happy the other. I'm the only one who tells you it is utterly possible to be equally miserable as a housewife as it is to be a CEO. Both of those can end in misery. But both of those can end in happiness. And I'm not going to tell you what's going to make you happy. You tell you what's going to make you happy. So you go to college. If you want to go to college, do whatever you want, however you want to do it, because it's America, Jack, and not this weird goose stepping fascist state that he's trying to trad wife you into. Period.
100%. Yeah, it's just like I would prefer to not have to think about him at all. I think that all of us are better off the less we are inflicted with either him or the other people just like him that have also been raised up by the Kochs and other right-wing billionaires exactly the same. Ben Shapiro, all of them. But you look like you have to jump in and say something. What's up?
Well, he's telling a 14-year-old girl when and how to.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is gross. The whole thing makes me feel very, very gross. First of all, that there are 14-year-old girls whose, I guess, parents are letting them go to Charlie Kirk events because those parents want her to be propagandized to. They want the scope of her potential and her hopes to just shrink down.
Narrow. Don't threaten your husband. Make him a sandwich.
Yeah, no, just be good and be quiet. Shut up. Oh yeah, you'll go learn something, I guess. Don't listen to your professors, people with like topical expertise in these areas. Don't listen to them, because if you listen to them, if you learn stuff, you might find my BS less persuasive. And by the way, she is a 14-year-old girl that apparently likes Charlie Kirk. Okay? She's, I guess, conservative, I suppose. And she says, I want to go into political journalism. And his answer is, no, you don't. Go raise some babies. So like he would imply that journalism is too filled with liberals. It's, oh God, all these propagandas, we need balance. No, not I guess if it's a woman. He doesn't care. That's not the most important thing. You should only be caring about getting married and having kids. And by the way, getting married and having kids can be great if that's what you want. Yeah. Having Raina is the best thing that's ever happened in my life. But has he ever addressed a room full of men and said, how many of you, your highest aspiration is getting married and having a kid? Because he wouldn't do that. Because he considers men to be full humans, deserving of whatever options they want. And they're there to be supported by the second-class citizens that unfortunately, and this is the really grotesque part, many willingly went there to be told by Charlie Kirk that they're not as important, that they shouldn't hope as much. And by the way, there are so many women in that same field, probably at that same event, that'll tell all those women, just think about getting married, think about having kids. And they're the most driven, career-obsessed people on the planet. For them. But the grift is telling other women to not think the way they do, to not aspire to what they aspire to. And I don't know if Charlie Kirk is gonna be as utterly hypocritical when it comes to his own family. I looked it up. He has 2 kids. One of them is a daughter. He has a little daughter. And he is going to these events and telling women, shut up about your careers, man. Why are you wasting your time thinking about your interests or your expertise or how you can make the world a better place? Go have more kids. The whole thing is just so gross for profit.
If his argument had any merit, there would never have been a women's movement. Because what it was, he's conservative. He wants to go back to the way it was when there were trad wife only options. If that was awesome, there wouldn't have been millions and millions of women fighting to break that ceiling. Period. He's wrong. He's a wrong person.
Who's
your garbage person, John?
They get so much money, Brett. They get so much funding.
So much, dude. I talked to someone in the industry. I was like, I just feel like they just, no matter how much they fail, there's Brinks trucks full of money backed up. And this guy was like, oh yeah, I've seen them. I've done the deals.
I mean, that's Brett. That's why I did the thing about the bestseller, the New York Times best sellers. No, they're not, man. It's just a huge sums of money go to a PAC. The PAC buys 40,000 copies. Bing, bang, boom. You got your bestseller. You can put it in your Twitter bio for the rest of your life.
But that's it, dude.
And it's like always there for conservatives.
My first job, I did just as much awesome work as my second job. Or let me just put it, I never got any better than I was in my first job. But my first job, all my stuff was placed in the Yahoo Mail app. And even if you didn't watch it, it counted as a view. So I got millions of views. More people were receptive to that as a success, even though I guarantee it was no better, worse, or more attention was placed on it than my second job. It artificially inflated the numbers so people thought it was popular.
Yeah.
When I make videos, I mark them up on screen, and this works. I make it look like it's already gone viral and someone else has written, wait for it. Oh my God, it's so right. Like this is the mind game that they play to convince you that they're already right and people already agree with them.
Yeah.
But it's all artificial. Eventually it can work. You showed a graphic earlier.
Yeah, that's how advertising works.
20% of people haven't decided whether they like Iran war or not. That's just an area for Charlie Kirk and company to quote go to work. And it'll work over time if they put enough money and time behind it.
Yeah. No, like, Dave Rubin eventually got an audience. I mean, he had to buy tons and tons of followers on Twitter for years and fail a bunch of times to pretend he was a success. And then eventually, again, he was raised up by the billionaire class. And because he told like 10 different totally hypocritical messages. And eventually he landed on one that the ruling class liked. And so they started paying him. That's how it works.
And people do that all the time. I remember Francis Maxwell, I got really mad at him because I was like, look at all the people that are retweeting you. This is embarrassing. They're all just alphanumeric bots. Like Haas never bought those bots.
Yeah, it's gross. Anyway, I didn't see it. I remember that with the Dave Rubin that I literally saw that day by day. Buying the batches of 5,000 followers a day. But anyway, no, he's super popular because people think he's really talented.